Have you ever woken up and felt a profound sense of exhaustion before your feet even hit the cold floor? It is a heavy, invisible weight that many of us in our prime years carry every single day without even realizing how much it is draining our spirit. You might feel like you are slowly and quietly losing your grip on the life you worked so incredibly hard to build over the last few decades. The world feels louder, faster, and significantly more chaotic than it has ever been in our collective lifetime. You see the headlines, the constant notifications, and the endless demands on your time, and it feels like you are drowning in a restless sea of digital noise. We are often told by society that to fix this deep-seated exhaustion, we need a massive, total overhaul of our entire existence. We are told we need a complex 10-step transformation plan or a sudden dramatic miracle to turn our circumstances around overnight. But I want to tell you a fundamental truth that the high-performance coaches and the flashy internet gurus often choose to ignore. Real change, the kind that lasts for years and actually heals your weary spirit, does not come from a sudden or violent storm. It comes from the quietest of whispers in your daily routine and the small choices you make when no one is watching. It comes from tiny, almost invisible habits that build upon one another until they become an unbreakable foundation of lasting peace. Quality of life is never a result of simple guesswork or luck. It is a result of reconstruction, one small brick at a time. Today, I am going to share 30 tiny habits that silently transformed my life and finally gave me back my inner peace and autonomy. These habits are not about rising and grinding or pushing yourself to the absolute brink of physical or mental burnout. These are about reclaiming your personal power and your sanity in a world that constantly tries to take them away from you. The first major shift begins with the way you view your most precious resource, your time, specifically 30 minutes of it. Try waking up just 30 minutes earlier than your usual frantic schedule requires. This is not about joining a competitive 5 a.m. club or performing at peak levels the very moment your eyes open. It is about creating a sacred window of time where the world and its many problems cannot shout at you quite yet. In these 30 minutes, you are not a worker, a parent, a spouse, or a consumer. You are simply yourself. When you control your morning, you begin to control your mind, and that control is the first essential step toward true freedom. Immediately after you wake up, before you reach for your phone or your first cup of coffee, drink a full glass of water. During the night, your brain and your vital organs become naturally dehydrated, which leads to that groggy, heavy feeling we mistake for a lack of sleep. Water signals to your nervous system that the day has officially begun, rehydrating your cells and clearing the morning fog naturally. It is a simple, profound act of respect for the physical vessel that carries you through this world every day. The next habit might seem trivial to some, but its psychological impact on your daily momentum is absolutely profound. Make your bed. When you finish this small, simple task, you have achieved your first victory of the day before you even leave your bedroom. It creates an immediate sense of order in your environment that reflects directly into your internal mental state. A made bed is a clear signal to your brain that the chaos of the night is over and the order of the day has officially begun. To avoid the paralyzing weight of choice in the morning, start planning your day the night before. Write down the 2 or 3 things that actually matter so that when you wake up, your brain does not waste energy wondering where to start. You are essentially giving your future self a clear map to follow, which drastically reduces morning anxiety and decision fatigue. When you remove the guesswork from your morning, you save your precious willpower for the things that truly require your deep focus. As you begin your day, find one thing to be truly grateful for and write it down in a single clear sentence. It could be the warmth of your home, the health of a loved one, or simply the fact that you have another day to try again. This small act of gratitude acts like a powerful recalibration for your brain's reticular activating system. It trains your subconscious mind to look for what is right in the world instead of constantly scanning for what is wrong or missing. Wisdom is the greatest asset we can accumulate as we age, so make it a habit to read just 10 pages of a quality book every day. Think of a book as a time machine that allows you to download decades of someone else's hard-earned experience in a matter of minutes. 10 pages a day is not a heavy burden, but over a full year, it adds up to over 15 books full of new perspectives and life-changing ideas. In a world of shallow social media posts and aggressive headlines, deep reading is a necessary act of intellectual preservation. To quiet the internal noise that often haunts our middle years, commit to just 5 minutes of stillness or meditation every morning. You do not need to be a Zen monk or have a perfectly clear mind. You just need to sit and observe the natural rhythm of your breath. This tiny pause acts as a physiological reset button for your nervous system, lowering your cortisol levels before the stresses of the day pile up. It is the difference between blindly reacting to your life and responding to it with calm, steady, and deliberate intention. Every single morning, rewrite your single biggest, most important goal on a fresh piece of paper. Do not let your dreams sit on a shelf gathering dust. Keep them alive and present in your conscious mind every single day. When you write your goal daily, your brain begins to filter your every action through the lens of that specific objective. You are telling your subconscious that this achievement is inevitable, and slowly, your daily choices will begin to align with that reality. I used to think that positive affirmations were fake or sentimental, but I realized that our internal monologue is often a series of negative affirmations. We tell ourselves we are too tired, too old, or too stuck, and our brain naturally believes every discouraging word we say. Start speaking the truth you want to see into existence, even if it feels a bit awkward or unnatural at first. You must create your own motivation by declaring your value and your capability out loud to yourself. Before you close your eyes at night, take a moment to reflect on just one small, specific win from your day. We spend so much of our lives obsessing over what we didn't finish or where we feel we failed to meet expectations. Shifting your focus to what you actually achieved, no matter how minor it seems, turns a sense of guilt into a sense of completion. It allows you to go to sleep with a heart full of gratitude rather than a mind full of restless and heavy regret. One of the most powerful tools for daily productivity and peace of mind is the famous 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, you must do it immediately without thinking or adding it to a list. Delete the junk email, put the dish in the washer, or hang up your coat the very moment you walk in the door. This habit prevents the death by 1,000 cuts that happens when small chores pile up into an overwhelming mountain of mental stress. Instead of a daunting to-do list of 20 items, set only 3 micro goals for yourself each morning. These should be clear, manageable actions that move the needle on what truly matters to your long-term happiness. Completing just 3 things creates a sense of momentum that is far more sustainable than the fleeting spark of temporary motivation. Momentum is the real engine of change, and small wins are the fuel that keeps it running day after day without fail. To maintain your focus during work or personal projects, use a timer to implement the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes with total undivided focus, then take a mandatory 5-minute break to move and breathe. This rhythm trains your brain to concentrate deeply because it knows a period of rest is coming very soon. You will find that you get more done in 2 hours of focus bursts than in 8 hours of distracted and interrupted sitting. Our digital lives are often the primary source of our mental clutter, so choose one digital distraction to cut each week. Maybe it is turning off non-human notifications or finally deleting an app that makes you feel inadequate, angry, or restless. You do not have to quit the internet entirely, but you must stop the internet from owning your limited and precious attention. Reclaiming your focus is the only way to truly reclaim the narrative of your life and your personal happiness. External order creates internal peace, so make it a habit to declutter just one small physical thing every day. Clean out one kitchen drawer, organize one folder on your computer, or tidy up your workspace before you leave it for the evening. A cluttered environment is a constant, subtle, and exhausting drain on your limited cognitive energy. By creating small pockets of order, you give your mind the space it needs to think clearly and creatively once again. Your body was designed for movement and flow, not for sitting at a desk for 12 hours a day. Every single hour, take just 2 minutes to stretch your limbs and move your spine in different directions. This simple physical reset boosts your blood flow and prevents the physical stagnation that leads to mental fatigue. It is an easy, free, and effective way to maintain your energy levels without relying on artificial stimulants. In addition to stretching, try to stand up for at least 10 minutes of every waking hour. Standing changes your posture, improves your breathing, and keeps your metabolism from slowing to a crawl. It is a small, manageable adjustment that has massive long-term benefits for your longevity and your daily energy levels. Nature is the ultimate form of therapy, and it is available to you for free every single day of the year. Spend at least 10 minutes outside, feeling the sun on your skin and the fresh air in your lungs. This connection to the natural world reduces stress hormones and helps synchronize your internal biological clock. A short walk outside is often more effective at solving a complex problem than an hour of staring at a computer screen. Pay close attention to what you put into your body, particularly your daily sugar intake. You do not need a restrictive or joyless diet to see a massive difference in how you feel and perform. Just start by becoming aware of the hidden sugars that cause your energy to spike and then crash suddenly. When you stabilize your blood sugar, you stabilize your mood and your ability to focus throughout the entire afternoon. Consistent energy is a byproduct of consistent, mindful nutrition and respecting your body's needs. To protect the quality of your sleep, avoid all digital screens for at least 30 minutes before you go to bed. The harsh blue light from your phone or television inhibits the production of melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it is time to rest deeply. When you replace mindless scrolling with reading or reflection, you tell your brain that the day is officially over. You will wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the world, rather than groggy and starting the day behind. One of the most difficult but necessary habits for your long-term peace is learning to say no more often. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't truly matter, you are inadvertently saying no to your own health and goals. Protect your limited time with the same intensity and rigor that you protect your life savings. Saying no to the unimportant allows you to give your very best yes to the things that truly move you forward. Try to compliment at least one person every single day with total and absolute sincerity. It sounds simple, but the positive energy you put out into the world has a way of reflecting back onto you. Making someone else smile lifts your own mood and reminds you of the human connection we often lose in our busy lives. Positivity is a muscle that gets stronger and more natural the more you choose to use it. Audit your social environment by unfollowing at least one negative influence every single week. You are the average of the information you consume and the people you choose to follow online. If a certain account consistently makes you feel angry, anxious, or inferior, remove it from your life forever. Your digital diet is just as important as your physical diet for your overall mental health and daily well-being. Even when you do not feel like it, try to smile at yourself in the mirror or at a stranger on the street. There is a powerful, scientific feedback loop between your facial expressions and your brain chemistry. Sometimes your body can lead your mind out of a dark place if you simply give it the physical cue to do so. A smile is a small, quiet, yet powerful act of defiance against a difficult or stressful day. Shift your entire mindset from seeking perfection to celebrating consistent and small progress. The goal is not to have a flawless life or a perfect routine. The goal is simply to be 1% better than you were yesterday. This mindset removes the paralyzing fear of failure and replaces it with the quiet joy of continuous growth. Small, imperfect actions taken consistently will always outperform grand plans that never actually start. Limit your consumption of the daily news, as it is designed to provoke fear and grab your attention through outrage. Most of what is reported is completely outside of your direct control and only serves to increase your baseline level of anxiety. Focus instead on your local community and your own sphere of influence where you can actually make a positive difference. Peace of mind is often found in the things we consciously choose to ignore for our own sanity. Nutrition does not have to be a complicated or stressful science. Just try to eat one extra vegetable every day. This tiny addition reminds you that health is built through small, consistent choices rather than extreme, short-term challenges. Over time, these small, nutritious choices slowly rewire your palate and your body's natural cravings. It is a gentle way to transition into a healthier lifestyle without the stress of a total, sudden overhaul. Keep your mind sharp and curious by learning one new word or concept every single day. Expanding your vocabulary is not about showing off. It is about expanding the tools you have to understand your reality. The more precisely you can name your feelings and your experiences, the better you can manage them. A sharp mind is a resilient mind that can handle whatever life throws its way with grace. When you feel overwhelmed or like the chaos of the world is winning, take 5 slow, deep breaths. This is a physiological reset that forces your nervous system out of fight or flight mode and back into a state of calm. It takes less than 60 seconds, but it can prevent a moment of stress from turning into a full day of burnout. When you control your breath, you control your heart rate, and ultimately you control your head and your emotions. Finally, take a dedicated amount of time every Sunday to reflect on your entire week. Look back at what went well, what caused you unnecessary stress, and what you can adjust for the coming 7 days. Reflection is the essential process that turns raw, messy experience into lasting and useful wisdom. Without it, we are just repeating the same mistakes and expecting a different result every time. When I first started implementing these 30 habits, none of them felt like they were life-changing or significant. I felt like I was just doing small, insignificant things that didn't really matter in the grand scheme of my life. But as the weeks slowly turned into months, something strange and wonderful started to happen. The constant chaos in my mind began to quiet down for the first time in many years. The heavy fatigue that had haunted me for so long finally started to lift and disappear. I realized that I wasn't just changing my schedule. I was changing the very essence of who I was. Transformation does not happen in a single lightning strike. It happens in the quiet, repeated moments of discipline. It happens when you choose the water over the soda, the book over the scroll, and the deep breath over the panic. You do not need to do all 30 of these habits tomorrow to see a change. In fact, I would strongly prefer that you only pick one to start with. Pick the easiest one on the list, the one that feels like it would give you a small, immediate win right now. Maybe it is the glass of water, or maybe it is the simple 2-minute stretch every hour. Start right there and let the natural momentum build itself over time. Confidence is simply the reputation you have with yourself for keeping your own small promises. When you keep a tiny promise to yourself every morning, your internal confidence grows significantly. And when your confidence grows, your identity begins to shift from someone who is overwhelmed to someone who is in control. You have the incredible power to rebuild your day, and in doing so, you rebuild your entire life. The world may be loud and chaotic, but your internal world can be a sanctuary of order and lasting peace. It all starts with one tiny habit, one small choice, and one quiet personal victory. Do not wait for a miracle to come and save you from the exhaustion of your life. Become the miracle yourself by taking control of the next 2 minutes of your existence. You are not stuck. You are just in a necessary period of transition. And today is the absolute perfect day to begin your quiet and beautiful reconstruction. Thank you for listening, and please remember that you are capable of far more than you think, one habit at a time.